Hello everyone, this is Dragothien here. Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. Today we're going to be talking about new commanders coming into the game. They're leadership based. Are these the leadership rally commanders that everybody's been hoping for, where you can send a rally against whatever you want to in a KVK or in Ark of Osiris and use whatever troop type you want? It doesn't matter. Stay tuned, let's go over the skills. We're going to start with Honda and go from there. All right, welcome back, everybody. We have Honda Tadakatsu here. This is one of the new leadership commanders that are coming out in Rise of Kingdoms very shortly. They are in the game now and are going to be starting to be appearing on the MGE and the wheel. Honda will be on the wheel, just to show you really quickly. Hit the plus button on the bottom, and there you go. Wheel of Fortune is where you'll be able to get Honda. Let's go through the skills really quick. This is not going to be a mastery guide. This is going to be a what do I think Honda's going to turn into guide. Maybe a little bit of theory crafting, just to kind of chat on how I would use him if I had him maxed, or if I would even max him in the first place. So let's go ahead and go through the skills. I think by the end of these skills, you guys know me well enough to know kind of where this is headed, but Dragonfly Cutter is the first skill. 1350 rage requirement commander in the game, other one being Edward. Edward has a single target 2500 damage factor skill, whereas Honda has a 3-target AoE in fan-shaped 2500 skill damage, direct damage factor skill here. Now, if you use him as a secondary commander, it does drop to 1250, which is effectively obviously cut in half. Still really strong, but not quite legendary strong at that point. That being said, you can cast it faster if you pair Honda as a secondary commander to a faster casting commander, like say a Zhang Yu or a Genghis. There is a 15% damage reduction per target hit. That's another thing to kind of keep in mind. 2500 damage goes down by 15% each target after the primary target if you do hit people in your AoE, which you should, especially if you're using this as a field fighting commander. Now, if you're using him as a rally commander, you may not necessarily have that unless your opponent decides to use those one troop marches to lower the amount of damage that Honda does as a rally commander. So overall, I like the fact that they have continued to bring out newer types of active skills. This is obviously something that Edward has, but it's not an AoE for Edward. This is an AoE leadership commander with a high rage requirement. This is new. No other commander has this in the game. So this is unique. So something to keep in mind. First skill, I like the damage. I'm not a huge fan of the rage requirement, but we'll go into what that looks like as we go along the rest of the skills. Samurai of the East, passive skill. Troops led by this commander gain... Now, this is not correct, by the way. They need to fix this. I've already let them know that they've worded this incorrectly. It says troops led by this commander gain 2% increased march speed, which on the upgrade preview, it says 2% is correlated to the attack bonus right here. 2% for attack bonus, but up on the actual description, 2% for the march speed. And then you also have an extra 3% increased attack plus 10% when attacking troops. So 2% increased march speed. Is it for the march speed or is it for the attack bonus? I'll let you know in just a second what I think it's going to be. March speed bonus of up to 20%. I don't think that's accurate. Again, it says 3% increased attack plus 10% when attacking troops. So what are you attacking if you're not attacking troops? I guess barbs, maybe? But usually they have something to the effect of non-player units or barbarians in the skill description if they're saying attacking. I guess maybe stronghold or garrison is considered not troops that you're attacking. That's possible, but this whole skill description is a big mess. At the end of the day, I think this is going to be a 10% march speed bonus, a 20% attack bonus, and then an additional 30% attack bonus when you're attacking on the open field. I think that's what that's supposed to mean. That's what I think it's supposed to mean. I'm not 100%, but that's just the way I'm reading it. Increased attack plus 10%. Up to 30% when attacking troops. So to me, that's open field. I'm not 100% yet. We'll have to figure that out. They need to fix the whole skill description anyway. It's a hot mess. Okay, so the second skill just needs to be redone. Third skill, Samurai. Among Samurai, troops led by this commander take up to 5% reduced damage. That's really nice. Now here's where it gets tricky again. So an active skill cast will cause the target to suffer damage over time, up to 200 damage factor, and a 20% reduced march speed for up to 2 seconds. That's kind of nice. Now it says after an active skill is cast, so immediately I'm thinking, okay, well, you're casting twice per skill cycle. That's 200 damage factor for 2 seconds, and then another 200 damage factor for 2 seconds, and then that's pretty good. That's 400 damage factor per active skill, so that's 800 damage factor. That's not bad. But then you look at this last sentence here. It says this effect can trigger at most once every 5 seconds, which means, yes, that's right, you only get this once per skill cycle, not twice, because your second skill cycle will always fire off 2 seconds later. That's within that 5-second trigger window, and you will not get that second set of damage factor and reduced march speed. So unfortunately, this is only for once per skill cycle, really kind of nullifying the value of this for the most part. Now, obviously, the 5% damage taken reduction is permanent, so that's nice, but the actual damage of 200 and 200, so 400 damage factor altogether, and the 50%, up to 50% march speed bonus, march speed reduction, I should say, for 2 seconds is only once per skill cycle. And again, if you have Honda at the 1350 rage requirement he has, being your primary, that's not very long. You're going to have that per skill cycle, so something to keep in mind. Fourth skill, Tokugawa, Heavenly King. Again, this is from the early Japanese histories. Before there was a centralized, unified Japan, there were warring states. Tokugawa is eventually the commander that ended up after Nobunaga, completely consolidating and unifying Japan under one leadership and one rule. Honda Tadakatsu was part of that rebellion / warring period / whatever, right? So Tokugawa Heavenly King, troops led by this commander gain up to 10% troop capacity bonus, and deal, and this is where another kind of fuzzy wording / numbering comes into play, and deal 5% or 5% with 2 or more units, increased skill damage per 8% units lost. The skill damage bonus cannot exceed 60%. So let's go back and read what that says. If you're not using more than one unit type, so if you're only using infantry, if you're only using archers, if you're only using cav or siege, you can, once you've maxed this skill, it can be 5% skill damage bonus. Cool. But then it says, or you can get 5%, so one or the other, with 2 or more different unit types. So is it 5% more if you're using more than one unit type, or does the 5% scale like the original number, and does that turn into 25% skill damage bonus with 2 or more unit types after you've maxed the skill? So we need to figure that out, okay? Because that can't be right? Like if you max the skill, it's the same benefit as if you didn't max the skill. That doesn't make any sense. And increases the damage, increases the skill damage per 8% units lost. Usually when you see a skill description like that, you're talking about a rally or a garrison type of situation, and the skill bonus damage bonus cannot exceed 60%. So you're looking at the 60% bonus damage here, and to get to that point, if it's just 5%, that's obviously going to be 12 times 8%, which means you are effectively almost dead to get to that 60% skill damage bonus. Now, if the 2 or more different unit type bonus is more than 5%, or if that's additive to the 5% and it's 10%, then again, you would still need to get to 60% there. You're looking at 6 times 8 units lost, which would put you right about half health is when you'll start getting that maximum 60% skill damage bonus. And again, for a rally situation, that's beautiful, or a garrison situation, that's beautiful because of the way everything's kind of calculated on if you're the primary for the rally or the garrison versus not. But for open field, you're getting a nice bonus, but you're half health to get it, and then you're causing less damage anyway. So effectively, and obviously this isn't exact, I haven't tested it, the guy's not in the game, but you know, maybe it ends up being like a 20% bonus from 100%, if that makes sense. So some updates need to happen on this skill here to let us know exactly how this works, because if it's 5% once this is maxed out, plus another 5% with 2 or more unit types, that's a little bit more realistic. But if it's 5% or 25% with 2 or more unit types. That's kind of a game changer. That could be something that could make this commander, in my opinion, usable. But still, you are maxing this at 60%. So something to keep in mind. But it's quick. It's a lot easier to get to that 60% with 25% versus the 5 and 5 or just 5%. So something to keep in mind. This skill again needs to be reworked. I mean, the second skill definitely needs to be reworked. Third skill needs to be, it's very conditional, I guess is the best way to describe it. And then the fourth skill needs to be reworked because it's not described correctly, in my opinion. Fourth, or the expertise. Now, from what I understand, let me read it first. So, troops led by this commander take 30% reduced damage from normal attacks on the map. That is huge. That's a huge white number reduction. And it's not like 10% chance to get this, or when you're less than 50% health, or there's no conditions. It just says you get 30% reduced damage from normal attacks on the map, period. I'm like, okay, that's kind of OP. But then it says this effect can trigger up to 57 times per hour after leaving your city. From the research I've done and from what I've heard in the game, the 57 number is special because that's how many times Honda Tadakatsu has gone into battle, and that's where the 57 number came from. It can only happen 57 times per hour after leaving your city. So, again, with it not being conditional, that means you have 57 turns where your expertise applies. To expertise a legendary commander, it is 690 universal sculptures, or just 690 sculptures combined between getting him from the wheel and using universal sculptures, or however you end up maxing the guy. That's a lot of sculptures to only have your expertise be available 57 turns per hour, which is basically what this is. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Okay, so that's the expertise. The actual talents, you got leadership, versatility, and skill. Obviously, you would go as heavy into skill as possible, and then go up into leadership, getting strategic prowess, and maybe if you decide to go mixed troops, you can go armed and armored to the teeth. Similar to like a Frederick build would be my way of going about speccing out Honda Tadakatsu. You can find that build on my Discord in the links below. So what do I think about Honda Tadakatsu? I hate to burst your bubble. I hate to burst your bubble. I know that everybody wants to have a mixed troop, a good mixed troop rally commander / pair. I just don't think this is it. Unless, again, all of these descriptions are just wrong, and that would effectively completely change the dynamic of this commander. First off, why are we releasing this stuff? Like, why are we releasing commanders with this as a thing? Like, it says 2% increased march speed, but it says 2% increased attack bonus on the upgrade preview. This one here, you have a bonus for an active skill cast to deliver 200 more damage factor per second for 2 seconds and 50% march speed reduction for 2 seconds. Based on an active skill being cast, when there's always 2 active skill casts happening per skill cycle, but only allowing 1 to actually benefit from it. And then the fourth one here, where again, you've got a 10% increased troop capacity, which is epic level, by the way. Osmond gives you that. And then a 50% like bonus damages where the numbers aren't right. Like, there's no way that you get 5% with a single troop type or 5% without a single troop type. It doesn't make sense. They would just put deals 5% more increased skill damage per 8% units lost. They wouldn't have added in the additional more different unit type, which again, a whole nother nightmare. So again, this needs to be clarified. This needs to be fixed / clarified. This to me has ruined the skill because it's only usable once per skill cycle, and it's a 1350 rage requirement skill cycle if you're using him as a primary. And again, if you're using him as a secondary, to me, all of his damage just went bye-bye. Kira has more skill damage than this guy if you use him as a secondary. And then, again, his expertise is only usable 57 seconds out of an hour. Again, soak that in. Soak it in. 57 seconds per hour, you have his expertise working in your favor. 57 seconds per hour. This guy's in it. I'm sorry. Or, here's what happens, right? Or this fourth skill is that 25% with 2 or more unit types situation like we were talking about. And you save Honda for 1 really good rally per hour. Like, this is your, I need to get this flag done. I need to get this fort burning, blah, 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 right? And you use Honda with whatever, right? It could be Gilga, it could be whatever. Use him or the new, Suleiman. We'll talk about him tomorrow. Use him for once per hour to take down whatever it is, because that's the only way that this would even work. Because again, 57 seconds, 57 turns, which is again the equivalent of 57 seconds per hour, means that this should be a devastating commander for 57 seconds. Which again, to me, why would you want that on an open field situation? Like, what do you need to win in 57 seconds? That's so critical to spend 690 universal or just gold legendary sculptures on this commander. I just don't see it. So again, I would not invest in this commander unless some massive things were changed. Again, why are we still 3 years into this game? Why are we still putting out commanders that don't have the skill descriptions correctly done? Like, what? Why? All right. Sorry about the small little rant there. Again, current kill count is on the screen for my 30 million project as well. If you are interested, we're still doing that. I just took a little bit of time away from that project to give you a little insight into Honda, because that's what was asked for on the streams that we've been doing almost every day during the week. And yeah, he says he's undefeated. I don't think that he's going to be undefeated in Rise of Kingdoms. So I hope you've enjoyed, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is Honda going to be a game changer? Throw it in the comment section below. I will respond and we will talk about it. Bring up some points that I didn't. From what I see, this guy is basically another Lu Bu, another Ragnar. Obviously, he's gotten in the wheel, but he's just not gonna be a big enough difference. He's not gonna be able to take on those newest archer commanders that were just released earlier. He just can't stack up, in my opinion. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next time. Cheers, have a good one.